Welcome to Stamps World. Today we are taking a close look at a fascinating United States 50-cent Benjamin Franklin postage stamp. At first glance, this beautiful blue stamp may look like an ordinary postage stamp, but many collectors wonder whether it could be hiding an impressive value. In this video, we will explore the history of this stamp, why Benjamin Franklin appears on so many U.S. stamps, what makes this issue special, its current market value, and the important factors that determine whether a stamp is common or highly collectible. If you enjoy learning about rare and valuable stamps, make sure to subscribe to Stamps World and join our growing community of stamp collectors from around the world. Benjamin Franklin is one of the most important figures in American history. He was a scientist, inventor, writer, diplomat, and one of the founding fathers of the United States. Long before becoming famous for his many achievements, Franklin also served as the first Postmaster General of the United States. Because of his enormous contribution to the American postal system, his portrait has appeared on hundreds of U.S. postage stamps over the years. Collectors around the world recognize Franklin stamps as an essential part of American philatelic history, making them popular additions to both beginner and advanced stamp collections. The stamp shown here is a 50-cent U.S. postage stamp featuring Benjamin Franklin in an elegant blue design. The detailed engraving style, decorative frame, and classic portrait give the stamp a timeless appearance. Although many people assume that every old-looking Franklin stamp is extremely valuable, the truth is that most stamps must meet very specific conditions before they become rare. The printing year, production quantity, condition, centering, gum, perforations, cancellation marks, and any printing errors all play a major role in determining the final market value. In today's collector market, a normal example of this 50-cent Benjamin Franklin stamp in used condition is generally worth between 50 cents and $3. A clean and used mint example with original gum may sell for around $2 to $10, depending on its quality. If the stamp is preserved in exceptional condition with perfect centering and no faults, collectors may pay $15 to $50. Complete sheets, plate blocks, or official first aid covers can sometimes command even higher prices because many collectors prefer these specialized formats. The real excitement begins when collectors discover genuine printing errors or unusual varieties. Stamps with missing colors, inverted designs, dramatic perforation errors, double impressions, or major production mistakes can become highly desirable at auctions. Rare authenticated error stamps have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. However, these are genuine production errors that are carefully examined and certified by professional philatelic experts. Without authentication, it is impossible to claim that an ordinary stamp is a rare error. Another factor that affects value is condition. Collectors always look for sharp corners, intact perforations, bright original color, clean paper, and undamaged gum on in-use examples. Even small creases, stains, tears, thin spots, or damaged perforations can reduce the value considerably. This is why experienced collectors handle stamps carefully with stamp tongs and store them in protective albums to preserve their quality for future generations. If you own this Benjamin Franklin 50-cent stamp, take a closer look before assuming its value. Check the year of issue, compare it with official stamp catalogs, inspect the perforations, and carefully examine the printing for unusual varieties. If you believe your stamp has a significant printing error or appears different from normal examples, consider having it evaluated by a professional philatelic expert. A certified opinion can make a substantial difference when selling a rare collectible. Stamp collecting is much more than searching for expensive treasures. Every stamp tells a story about history, culture, famous people, and the development of communication across the world. Benjamin Franklin's legacy continues to inspire collectors, and his stamps remain among the most recognizable issues in American postal history. Whether your stamp is worth a few dollars or much more, it is still an important piece of philatelic heritage that deserves appreciation. Next up, we are exploring one of the most fascinating and historically important stamps ever issued by the United States. The famous 1898 Trans-Mississippi issue 50-cent Western Cattle in Storm stamp. This classic stamp is admired by collectors around the world for its beautiful artwork, rich history, and strong demand in the philatelic market. Many people discover this stamp in old collections and immediately wonder whether they own a valuable treasure. In today's video, we'll uncover the history behind this legendary issue, explain what makes it collectible, discuss its current market value in US dollars, and reveal the key details that can make one example worth only a few dollars while another sells for thousands. So stay with me until the end, because this information can help you understand the true value of your stamp. The stamp you see here belongs to the famous Trans-Mississippi and International Exposition Series of 1898, one of the most celebrated stamp sets in American history. The exposition was held in Omaha, Nebraska, to promote the development of the American West and celebrate progress in transportation, agriculture, and commerce. To commemorate this important event, the United States Post Office released a beautiful series of stamps featuring scenes from American life instead of traditional portraits. The 50-cent denomination, known as Western Cattle in Storm, captures a dramatic image of cattle facing a powerful storm on the open plains, symbolizing the strength and determination of the American frontier. More than 125 years later, this stamp remains one of the most recognizable U.S. classics. Collectors appreciate its detailed engraving, elegant frame, and historical significance. However, not every example has the same value. The condition of the stamp is extremely important. Experts carefully examine the centering, color, perforations, margins, gum, and whether the stamp has been used or remains in mint condition. Even a tiny crease, tear, stain, or missing perforation can greatly reduce its value, while a perfectly preserved example can command a premium. In today's collector market, a used 50-cent Trans-Mississippi stamp in average condition typically sells for around $70 to $200 US. A clean, well-centered used example with attractive appearance may reach $250 to $500 US. An unused mint stamp with original gum generally ranges from $600 to over $2,000 US, depending on its quality. Exceptionally well-centered mint examples that receive high professional grades from organizations such as the Professional Stamp Experts, PSE, or Professional Stamp Authentication, PSA, can sell for $5,000 to $20,000 US or even more at major stamp auctions. Rare multiples, plate blocks, or extraordinary certified examples have achieved even higher prices because of their scarcity and collector demand. One exciting aspect of this issue is the possibility of rare varieties in exceptional condition. Genuine printing varieties, unusual shades, or outstanding certified grades can significantly increase the value, but such examples are uncommon and require professional authentication. Collectors should always be cautious of exaggerated online claims that ordinary copies are worth millions of dollars. In reality, the highest prices are paid for authenticated examples with outstanding condition, rarity, and proven provenance. If you own this stamp, examine it carefully under good lighting. Check for complete perforations, sharp impressions, clean paper, and strong original color. If you believe your stamp is in exceptional condition, or maybe a rare variety, it is worth having it evaluated by a professional philatelic expert. A certificate of authenticity can greatly increase buyer confidence and help establish its true market value. The 1898 Trans-Mississippi series remains one of the greatest achievements in American stamp design. Its artistic beauty and historical importance continue to attract collectors from every corner of the world. Whether your example is worth $100 or several $1,000s, it represents an important piece of United States postal history and remains a prized collectible for anyone passionate about philately. Next up, we are taking a closer look at one of the most beautiful and historically important United States parcel post stamps ever issued, the 50-cent parcel post dairying stamp. This classic red stamp is admired by collectors around the world because it represents America's agricultural heritage and the early development of the parcel post mail service. Many collectors discover the stamp in old family collections and immediately wonder whether it could be worth a small fortune. In this video, we will explore the history of this remarkable stamp, learn why it remains popular among philatelists, discuss its current market value in US dollars, and explain the important factors that determine whether your stamp is common or highly valuable. Stay with me until the end, because you may learn something that could help you evaluate your own collection. The United States parcel post stamps were first introduced in 1913, shortly after the U.S. Post Office launched its parcel post service. Before this service existed, sending large packages through the mail was difficult and expensive. The new parcel post system transformed American commerce by allowing businesses and families to ship heavier parcels across the country at affordable rates. To celebrate this new postal service, The post office issued a unique series of parcel post stamps featuring scenes of American industry, farming, transportation, and daily life instead of portraits of famous people. The 50-cent dairying stamp beautifully illustrates cows grazing peacefully on a farm, representing the importance of dairy farming in the American economy during the early 20th century. Collectors appreciate the stamp not only for its attractive design, but also for its historical significance. The detailed engraving, deep carmine red color, and peaceful rural scene make it one of the most recognizable stamps in the Parcel Post series. Because it is more than a century old, surviving examples in excellent condition are becoming increasingly desirable among collectors worldwide. The value of this stamp depends heavily on its condition. Experts carefully examine the centering of the design, the quality of the perforations, the freshness of the color, the presence of original gum on unused examples, and whether the stamp has any tears, creases, stains, thin spots, or heavy cancellations. Even a small defect can reduce the value, while a perfectly preserved example can sell for significantly more than an average copy. In today's stamp market, a used 50-cent parcel post dairying stamp in average condition generally sells for around $20 to $80. A well-centered and attractive used example may bring $100 to $250. An unused mint example with original gum typically sells between $250 and $800, depending on its overall quality and centering. Professionally graded mint examples in exceptional condition can sell for $1,000 to $3,500, and the finest certified examples offered at major stamp auctions have realized even higher prices because of their rarity and outstanding preservation. Some collectors also search for rare printing varieties, plate number blocks, unusual shades, or production errors. Genuine errors are extremely scarce and can be worth several $1,000s, but they must be authenticated by recognized philatelic experts before they are considered valuable. Be cautious of exaggerated claims online suggesting that every old parcel post stamp is worth millions of dollars. Most ordinary examples are collectible, but only rare authenticated varieties achieve extraordinary prices. If you own this stamp, examine it carefully using proper lighting and a magnifying glass. Look for complete perforations, strong color, clean paper, and balanced margins. If your stamp appears to be in exceptional condition, or you suspect it may have an unusual variety, consider having it evaluated by a professional stamp expert. A certificate of authenticity can greatly increase buyer confidence and help establish its true market value. The 50-cent dairying parcel post stamp remains one of the finest examples of classic American stamp design. More than 100 years after its release, it continues to tell the story of rural America, agricultural progress, and expansion of the nation's postal system. Whether your stamp is worth a few dollars or several thousand, it represents an important piece of American postal history and deserves a place in every serious stamp collection. Next up, we are exploring a fascinating piece of American postal history, the United States 50-cent war-saving stamp. At first glance, this blue stamp featuring a young colonial soldier holding a musket may look simple, but it carries an incredible story from one of the most important periods in American history. Many collectors discover these stamps in old family albums or inherited collections and immediately ask, is this stamp valuable today? In this video, we will uncover the history behind the 50-cent war-saving stamp, explain why it was issued, discuss its current market value in U.S. dollars, and reveal the factors that can make certain examples much more desirable to collectors. So stay with me until the end because you might have a collectible piece of history hiding in your collection. The United States War-Saving Stamp Program was introduced during World War I as a way for ordinary Americans to support the nation's war effort. Instead of borrowing large amounts of money from banks, the U.S. government encouraged citizens to purchase war-saving stamps in small denominations. Children, students, workers, and families across the country collected these stamps until they had enough to exchange them for war-saving certificates that earned interest over time. These stamps became symbols of patriotism and national unity, allowing millions of Americans to contribute to the country's financial support during the war. The beautiful 50-cent war-saving stamp shown here features a colonial-era soldier standing proudly with a musket, representing the courage and determination of the American people. The detailed engraving, elegant frame, and patriotic design make this stamp one of the most recognizable issues from the war-saving series. Although millions were printed, Well-preserved examples remain popular among collectors because of their historical importance and attractive appearance. When determining the value of a war-saving stamp, condition is one of the most important factors. Collectors carefully examine the centering, perforations, color, paper quality, and whether the stamp is unused or damaged. Bright original color, sharp perforations, and clean paper can significantly increase desirability. Stamps with heavy creases, tears, stains, or missing perforations are usually worth less than well-preserved examples. In today's stamp market, a common used or lightly damaged 50-cent war-saving stamp generally sells for around $2 to $10. A clean and used example in very good condition often brings $10 to $40. Exceptionally preserved mint examples with original gum, attractive centering, and no defects can sell for $50 to $150, depending on collector demand. Rare plate blocks, complete sheets, unusual printing varieties, or certified examples may achieve several $100s at specialized stamp auctions, especially when accompanied by documentation proving their authenticity. One of the biggest misconceptions in stamp collecting is believing that every old stamp is worth thousands or even millions of dollars. While a few legendary stamps have sold for extraordinary prices, most war-saving stamps are valued according to their rarity, condition, authenticity, and demand among collectors. Genuine printing errors, missing colors, inverted designs, or dramatic production mistakes are extremely rare and can command much higher prices. But these must always be authenticated by professional philatelic experts before being considered valuable. If you own this 50-cent war-saving stamp, examine it carefully using proper lighting and a magnifying glass. Look for sharp printing, complete perforations, clean paper, and any unusual characteristics that differ from standard examples. If you believe your stamp may have a rare variety or exceptional quality, consider having it evaluated by a professional stamp grading service. An expert certificate can greatly increase confidence for buyers and help establish its true market value. The United States 50-cent war-saving stamp is much more than a collectible. It represents a time when millions of Americans came together to support their country during World War I. Every stamp tells a story of sacrifice, patriotism, and determination, making it an important part of American history, as well as a treasured collectible for philatelists around the world. Thank you for watching Stamps World. I hope you enjoyed learning about the historic United States 50-cent war-saving stamp and its current market value. If you love discovering rare stamps, hidden treasures, and fascinating stories from postal history, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Stamps World, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our latest videos. Keep collecting, keep exploring history, and I'll see you in the next exciting episode of Stamps World.